Is it just me, or did this episode remind a lot of you guys of the Dragon Ball Z days of the anime, where we would have countless episodes of just like motherfuckers screaming for a long ass time and shit like that? Because a lot of this episode was Goku would scream and his aura would get bigger, Beerus would scream and his aura would get bigger. And I mean, granted, yeah, there was some epic, clashes in this episode, and I think one of the best things that this episode did as well, again comparing it to Battle of Gods, is that it made the fight feel like it was even on a grander scale than how Battle of Gods felt, simply because the entire universe was shaking from every time that they clashed. So I think in that regard, yeah, okay, kind of, hyping shit up, but there was a lot of just in this actual episode, which is like, it reminds me of the old days when we were, rushing home for Toonami and we didn't give a fuck. We just thought it was so cool, and we would be doing the same thing like, oh, maybe I'll become a Super Saiyan. Some bits of this episode giving Whis his characterization that he's not necessarily a good guy or a bad guy. He's just kind of playing by the rules that was set forth by Beerus, which it kind of makes you question certain things once you find out more about Whis and Beerus and whatnot. But like, it's kind of funny how Vegeta just the entire time, which it kind of makes you wonder exactly how strong he is, that he's following Goku and Beerus' fight all the way from where he's at, looking up. Like, he's just staring up and he can see everything. Meanwhile, like, everybody is like in the space pod almost next to them and still is like, what the fuck is going on and shit like that. So it's kind of interesting to showcase how strong Vegeta might be at this particular point, as well as just the fact that he don't give a fuck about Whis. Like, Whis in this episode, between him trying to show Vegeta the fight and at the same time saving Mr. Satan, it wasn't that he really actually gave a fuck. It's like, well, Beerus promises, so I'm going to hold up our end of the deal until either, one of these people fall, then we'll figure it out. And did anyone else be like, what the fuck, when they had that Dragon of the Darkness flame shit going on? You had like one person's aura turning into a dragon and the other one turning into a dragon, and then they swallow the dragon. I was like, yeah, a little bit too much Yu Yu Hakusho up in that bitch. I mean, I get it, what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it like, which to a certain degree they did succeed in making it just larger than life. Like, everybody's trembling. Old Kai, everybody on Earth, everybody's just like, we can't take this. So that's fucking awesome in a sense that they made the fight even bigger than it was. But if you also notice, if you compare it to like Battle of Gods or something, I think this is a lot more of an even fight than what we got in Battle of Gods. I mean, at the end of the day, in Battle of Gods, Beerus was still kind of like chilling while Goku was, knocked the fuck out. But in this one, you see Beerus panting and breathing hard, likewise with Goku. So in that regard, they definitely changed it quite a bit to make it so that it was more of an even fight, which, I mean, in a way, with Battle of Gods, that would have been a little bit more cooler, simply because it's kind of like, oh shit, so Goku was never really a match in the movie. But in this one, it's like, yeah, I'm a Super Saiyan God, and there's a reason why, and I'm gonna fuck you up. And he's actually succeeding to a certain extent and giving Beerus what he wanted, a run for his money. I ain't gonna lie, it does get me upset when Satan's on the phone and he's telling Gohan like, Gohan, do something, your wife is pregnant there. Gohan's like, I can't do anything. I'm like, you were once one of the most badass motherfuckers in the world. You told Super Buu, I'm not gonna fight you, I'm gonna kill you. And now you're sitting in a spaceship and crusty art and animation. Like, go on. I miss you, buddy. Come back epic one day. And is it just me, or it's kind of interesting because Battle of Gods, a lot of the movie outside of the fights with Goku and Beerus felt more like Dragon Ball, with the humor and the comedy and stuff like that. And the fight was actually more like Dragon Ball Z. But it almost feels as though it's the reverse with Dragon Ball Super, where it seems a lot more serious on the outside because like the world is shaking, the universe is shaking, but the fight has a lot of comedy to it and a lot of jokes and stuff like that. So they kind of did everything in reverse for Dragon Ball Super, which, I mean, I like sometimes when it does feel more like the manga, where it's like a little bit more comical and getting a little bit more of the characterization of who Son Goku is in the actual source material. But I mean, I don't know, I just found it kind of interesting to see the reverse side of things, with like the fight being a little more comical, even though it's still epic as shit and they're both going hard. But I don't know, just kind of interesting, I guess. And of course, I'm pretty sure Satan's gonna take credit for all of this because he already spoke to the news people. So yeah, another one where Satan's gonna become bigger than life on planet Earth. And yeah, I mean, this episode, for the most part, it was a good episode. A little bit too much screaming for my taste, and certain aspects of it, I'm like, Gohan, I wish you could do something, bro. But aside from that, I mean, the fight pretty cool, making it larger than life, and the animation and art kind of looked pretty fucking cool for certain aspects, especially like that power beam struggle at the end with Goku and Beerus. Like, the art looked really fucking gorgeous there. So for the most part, good episode. I'm gonna say like 7 out of 10 for this one. Nowhere near as epic as last week's, but definitely still keeping it going. And hopefully this fight is over in the next episode or two, because I mean, not that it's necessarily a bad fight or anything, but I've seen Battle of Gods like 5 times, bro. So like, yeah. Let me know what you thought about this episode. What did you think about Goku versus Beerus? How did you feel about the characterization in comparison to Battle of Gods, where like the fight is more comical in this one than it was in Battle of Gods, but the surroundings are a little bit more serious? And was there a little bit too much screaming for you and Dragon of the Darkness Flame? And your overall thoughts of the episode. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be amazing. Open up world, and as always, people, have an awesome day.